عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. طلبة وطالبات الفرقة الأولى شعبة لغة، أهلا وسهلا بيكم. بنكمل مع بعض ال MCQs about equilibrium of demand and supply. Last session we stopped at point 10. Now point 10 says that for a price ceiling to be a binding constraint on the market, the government must set it. Where to set a binding price constraint? In our video explaining a price ceiling and the price floor, we have said that for a price floor to be a binding constraint, it must be set above the equilibrium price, which explains that price floor is the minimum price or the minimum acceptable price. For a price to be acceptable as a minimum, you should set it above the equilibrium price. For a price ceiling, or the maximum price to offer should be set under the equilibrium price. The reason or the logic of that set is that the government, in order to intervene in the market, say that price is unfair, price is higher than expected. Suppose that for a good X, prices went higher than expected. So the government, in order to protect consumers, intervene in the market and sets a maximum or a legal maximum of the prices. To be a binding constraint or to be of benefit or to be useful, price setting must be set under the equilibrium price. Otherwise it will be pointless، يعني ملاش معنى أبدا. يعني أنا دلوقتي البرايس سيلينج علشان يبقى فعال وإفكتيف لازم يبقى تحت الايكوليبريم برايس، لأن أنا شايف إن الايكوليبريم برايس ده غالي. فلما أقول إن ده غالي ما ينفعش أنا أجي أحط سعر أعلى منه وأقول يا جماعة التزموا بالسعر ده، لا، أنا شايف ده غالي فأنا بحط سعر أرخص منه. يبقى must be set below the equilibrium price, which is answer number B. تمام. 11. A binding price ceiling creates any price under the equilibrium price creates a shortage as a result of the buyers are motivated to buy or to purchase more, while the sellers are less motivated to produce because prices will not achieve their higher profit margins, so they will produce a less quantity of good X, while buyers will demand or will intend to buy a more of such good. That means that quantity demanded will be higher than quantity supplied, which relates to excess of demand over supply, and this is named a shortage of supply to satisfy the demand. So the answer to number 11 is a binding price ceiling creates a shortage. So which answer is a shortage? Number 11. Number A shortage or a surplus depending on whether the price ceiling is set above or below the equilibrium price. So it is not correct because there is no option for a binding price ceiling to be set above the equilibrium price. A binding price ceiling is a legal maximum on the prices. To be effective, it must be set under the equilibrium price. So choice number A is not correct. Number B is surplus, which is totally wrong because price ceiling or prices to be set under the equilibrium price will create a shortage, not a surplus. Number C is shortage, which is exactly the correct answer. Number 12. Suppose the equilibrium price for apartments is 500 per month and the government imposes rent controls of 250 sterling pound per month, which if the following is unlikely to occur as a result of the rent controls. Which one of the following choices will not happen as a result of such government intervention in market? So let's describe it one more time. Government invented in rental markets to decrease rents from 500 sterling pound to 250 sterling pound. So what will happen as a result of such intervention of the government? This storytelling describes a price ceiling because prices or rents are 500. The government intervened in the markets to put it at or set it at 250. So they will create a shortage of apartments because suppliers will be less motivated to offer their apartments for rent as a result of this decreasing price. While customers will be more motivated to rent. So, option or choice number A, there may be long lines of buyers waiting for apartments, which is more likely to happen. So, A is not our choice. As a result of less prices or less rents, there will be crowding over apartments. Many people will want to rent apartments. B. Landlords may discriminate among apartment renters, which is likely also to happen because they have advantage of offering apartments at this low price. So they will choose whom to rent their apartments, which means discrimination. I shall choose my customer. Maybe I'm racist. I will choose white people over black people. So this opens the room for discrimination. Number C, landlords may be offered the price to rent apartments as a consumer because of less supply or lower supply of apartments for rent. Maybe I will choose a back door in order to rent an apartment. Back door, maybe bribing the supplier, which is likely also to happen. Any of these answers is not our answer. E, B, and C is equally likely to happen because the less of supplying apartments while increase the demand for apartments. So I'm left with option number D or choice number D. The quality of apartments will improve, which is not even near likely to happen or near happening because as a supplier, I'm offering you an apartment at low price and you cannot find an apartment at such a price. Why would I sacrifice a cost of improving such an apartment? So number D is the less likely choice to happen as a result of rent controls to decrease rents from high 500 sterling pound to 50 sterling 250 sterling pounds. So our choice is number D. Number 13, a price floor. The definition of price floor. What does it mean by price floor? Price floor is a legal minimum of the price of a good, supposedly X. The price floor, what? Number A, always determines the price at which a good must be sold. Not totally agree with such sentence, but let's see other choices. Number B, it's a legal maximum. Of course not, because it's a legal minimum, not maximum. So B is not correct. C is not a binding constraint if it is set above the equilibrium price. Of course, this is wrong because price floor, in order to be a binding constraint, must be set above the equilibrium price. So number C is wrong, and I'm also left with number D, which sets a legal minimum on the price at which a good can be sold. This is our chosen answer, or the correct one. Number 14. Which side of the market is more likely to lobby government for a price floor? Let's draw a graph about price floor. Suppose that the market for good X, where the supply of good X and the demand for good X. Price floor should be set above the equilibrium price. Which side of the market will be benefit more from a price that's set above the equilibrium price? At this point, you shall think that sellers will be benefit more from such a price, because higher prices motivate suppliers to increase their supply or to produce more, while buyers will buy less because of higher prices. So which side of the market will be benefit more from price floors? The suppliers, the supply curve. So they will lobby government for the price floor. Number A, the buyers, wrong. Number B, neither buyers nor sellers desire a price floor, wrong. Number C, sellers. Sellers are more likely to lobby government or put a pressure on government to increase prices of goods. Number 15. Which of the following is an example of price floor? Price floor is the legal minimum on the price that's set above the equilibrium price. Which following is an example? Number one, the minimum wage. Minimum wage is a perfect example of price floor. Number B, rent controls. Rent controls, as we previously described in point number, I can't actually remember for now. Rent controls is a price ceiling example, not a price floor. C, restricting petrol prices to 1 sterling pound per liter when the equilibrium price is 1.5 per liter, which also an example of price ceiling, not price floor, because the legal maximum price that is set is 1 sterling pound, which is actually less than the equilibrium price, which is 1.5 sterling pound per liter. D, all of these answers are price floors, which is totally incorrect, because I have I have B and C is not a price floors. So I'm left with option or choice number A, which perfectly describes the price floor minimum wage. Number 16. Which of the following statements is true if the government places price ceiling on petrol at 1.5 sterling pound per liter and the equilibrium price is 1 sterling pound per liter? Okay, let's draw this one. Where's to draw it? Okay, here. The sentence say that the equilibrium price is 1 or 1.5. Yes, equilibrium price is 1. So the equilibrium price is here, 1. And the government sets a legal minimum or legal maximum price ceiling, a legal maximum price to be set here 1.5. So you will see that the price ceiling is not effective because it's already above the equilibrium price, which means that I am setting a legal maximum price on your production or your sellings above the already existing price. If I say that you must sell your good at a maximum of 1.5, I have let you or have authorized you to raise prices from 1 to 1.5, which is actually is not an intervention. It is useless to put a price ceiling above the equilibrium price. So which one of these answers will perfectly matches the situation? Number A, a significant increase in the demand for petrol could cause the price ceiling to become a binding constraint. As you can see in our graph, price ceiling is not a binding constraint because government set the legal maximum of the price above the equilibrium price, which will never affect any of the situation or will never cause any harm for suppliers. So number A supposedly say that if demand increases effectively or efficiently, this will means that the equilibrium price will became more the price ceiling, which makes the price ceiling is effective, creating a shortage and will be of use because at the first situation, 1.5 price ceiling was useless. So number A, the correct answer, but let's read the other answers. Number B, a significant increase in the supply of petrol should cause the price ceiling to become a binding constraint. Let's see if we move the supply curve. Maybe this will be correct, but I would rather choose the demand to be the most accurate one. At point B, it's okay. I'm sorry. Increase the demand supply curve mean that supply will move rightward, which means that the equilibrium price will decrease from 1 to about 0.9, which means that the price ceiling that's set by the government will be higher than before. This is not acceptable. Number C, there will be a shortage of petrol. Of course, there will not be a shortage of petrol because price ceiling is already set up above the equilibrium price, which means that if there is any effect, would be surplus, and which is either which also doesn't not exist because price ceiling is not effective at all. Number D, there will be a surplus of petrol, which is totally incorrect because we said that price ceiling is also is ineffective because it's set above the equilibrium price. So the correct answer is number A. تمام يا شباب. Number 17. Number 17, which of the following workers would be most likely to find it more difficult to get a job after a rise in the minimum wage rate? We previously, I think, described the situation for putting a minimum wage rate that will benefit only professional workers, not teenagers. Teenagers will be harmed because in order to release some of your employees, you will choose the teenagers because they are less skilled, have less expertise, they are not professionals, so you can يمكن تقدر تستغنى عنهم، لكن البروفيشنالز لا، انت ما تقدرش يعني. هو بيقول لي دلوقتي ان انا لو حطيت مينيموم ويج ريت، حطيت حد ادنى للوجوه، بمعنى اصح ان انا قلت العامل بدل ما بياخد 10 جنيه في الساعه، لا يا جماعه المينيموم لازم ياخد 15 20 جنيه في الساعه. طيب الناس اللي هم اللي بينتجوا طبيعي هيبداوا اول ما يفكروا يقول لك انا لا، انا ايه اللي يجبرني ان انا اعين كل الناس دي بالمبالغ دي؟ فانا هبدا اسرح بعض العماله اللي عندي وازود معدلات البطاله. طيب لما هو يجي يسرح بعض العماله اللي عنده، بدايه اول ما يسرح هيسرح مين؟ هيسرح الراجل اللي شغال معاه بقاله 20 سنه وعنده خبره، ولا هيسرح الولد او الشاب الصغير اللي لسه جاي له من شهرين 3 في الشغل؟ لا، هيسرح الولد او الشاب الصغير اللي لسه جاي له من شهرين 3 من الشغل. ليه؟ لانه ما بيستفادش منه الاستفاده الكبيره قوي علشان يقول انا يعني هبقي عليه في الشغل في مقابل ان انا استغنى عن الراجل عنده خبرة. يبقى the answer to number 17 is number A teenage worker with a few qualifications. Of course, this is the correct answer, but let's read the other answers. B, a manual worker with 15 years of work experience. No, of course, I will not dispose such worker. C, a professional worker with a university degree. So C is also required. A professional worker is not disposed. D, all three equally likely to find it difficult to get a job. That's not right, because a teenage worker will be harder to find a new job or get a new job. So the correct answer is number A. Number A is the correct answer. السيشن دي كده انتهت يا جماعة، بشكركم جميعا. إن شاء الله تكونوا استفدتوا، وأشوفكم في فيديو جديد بإذن الله. شكرا جدا، السلام عليكم.